We've all been there. It's Monday morning, you're feeling motivated, you've got the new gym shoes, the fridge is full of kale and chicken breast, and you've sworn off sugar for good. For the first 7 days, you're a superhero. You lose 4 pounds, your energy is up, and you're telling everyone who will listen that this time is different. Then, somewhere around day 12 or 13, the cracks start to show. By day 14, you're staring at a box of donuts like it's the love of your life, and by day 15, the diet is officially dead. Why does this happen? Is it a lack of willpower? Are you just not built for weight loss? No. The truth is much more fascinating, and it's hidden deep in your biology and your brain's survival wiring. If you've ever wondered why the 2-week mark feels like hitting a brick wall, you're in the right place. Watching this video will help you lose weight, because once you understand the invisible traps your body sets for you at the 14th day mark, you can actually plan for them instead of being blindsided by them. Knowledge is the difference between a failed attempt and a permanent transformation. Subscribe for weekly science-backed fat loss secrets to finally regain control of your health. This information is vital because your body is literally trying to trick you into staying the same, and you need a roadmap to beat it. Let's talk about what's actually happening inside you during those first 2 weeks. When you start a diet, your body undergoes a massive clearance phase. In the first few days, you aren't actually burning a massive amount of fat, you're burning through glycogen. Glycogen is the sugar stored in your muscles and liver. For every gram of glycogen your body uses, it releases about 3 to 4 grams of water. This is why the scale drops so fast in week 1. You feel lighter, the bloat is gone, and you think you've cracked the code. But around the 10-day mark, the glycogen stores are depleted, and the easy water weight is gone. Now your body has to do the hard work of breaking down actual adipose tissue, fat cells. This is a much slower process. When the scale stops moving 3 pounds a day and starts moving half a pound a week, your brain panics. It thinks the plan isn't working anymore. This is the first reason diets fail, a misunderstanding of how fat actually leaves the body. The second reason is much more sinister. It's called metabolic adaptation. Your body is a survival machine. It doesn't know you're trying to look good in a swimsuit. It thinks you're trapped on a deserted island with no food. When you cut calories sharply for 2 weeks, your thyroid hormones slightly dip, and your nervous system starts looking for ways to save energy. You might start fidgeting less. You might sit down more often. You might feel a little colder than usual. These are tiny subconscious ways your body tries to defend your fat stores. A fascinating study published in the Journal of Clinical Investigation in 2023 looked at this exact phenomenon. Researchers found that when people cut calories, their bodies didn't just burn less fuel. Their hunger hormones, specifically ghrelin, went into overdrive. Ghrelin is the hunger hormone, and by day 14 of a strict diet, it's screaming. At the same time, leptin, the hormone that tells you you're full, takes a nosedive. You are literally living in a biological state where you are hungrier than usual, but food feels less satisfying. Most people think they are failing because they crave junk, but they aren't failing. Their hormones are just doing their job too well. So, how do you beat this? How do you move past the 2-week graveyard where diets go to die? It comes down to your daily routine. If you want to lose weight and keep it off, you have to stop treating your diet like a temporary sprint and start treating it like a series of daily duties. You have a job to do every day, and if you check these boxes, the 2-week wall becomes a door. Your daily duties for weight loss success. If you want to survive past day 14, your daily routine needs to look exactly like this. First, your duty is to prioritize protein at every single meal. Protein is the most thermogenic food group, meaning your body burns more calories just trying to digest it compared to fats or carbs. More importantly, protein keeps those ghrelin levels in check. If you aren't eating at least 30 grams of protein for breakfast, you are setting yourself up for a binge at 9 p.m. Second, you have a duty to move, but not just exercise. We're talking about NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This is the movement you do outside of the gym. Your duty is to hit a step goal, whether it's 8,000 or 10,000 steps. Why? Because as I mentioned earlier, your body tries to save energy by making you move less when you're dieting. By tracking your steps, you're forcing your metabolism to stay high, even when your brain wants to lounge on the couch. Third, your duty is to manage your sleep environment. Most people don't realize that one single night of poor sleep can make you as insulin resistant as a type 2 diabetic the next morning. It also sends your cravings for sugar through the roof. If you aren't getting 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep, you are fighting a losing battle against your own chemistry. Fourth, you have a duty to hydrate with intent. Often the hunger you feel at the 14-day mark is actually a signal of dehydration or electrolyte imbalance. As you lose that initial water weight we talked about, you lose sodium, potassium, and magnesium. This makes you feel diet flu, tired, cranky, and headachy. A daily duty of drinking enough water and perhaps adding a pinch of sea salt or an electrolyte powder can stop the 2-week quit in its tracks. Finally, your duty is to practice delayed gratification through meal mapping. You don't need a strict, miserable meal plan, but you do need a map. Knowing what you are going to eat for dinner before you even wake up takes the decision fatigue out of the equation. By the time 6 p.m. rolls around on day 14, your willpower is spent. If you have to decide what to eat then, you'll choose the easiest, most dopamine-heavy option, usually fast food. If the decision is already made, you follow the map. Let's look at the timeline of what happens if you don't quit at week 2. Week 3, the whoosh effect. If you stay consistent through the cravings of week 2, something magical often happens in week 3. Scientists call it the whoosh effect. Sometimes, as fat cells empty out, they temporarily fill back up with water. This keeps the scale looking the same, which is why people quit. But if you keep going, your body eventually realizes the fat isn't coming back and drops the water all at once. Suddenly, you wake up and you're down 3 pounds overnight. This is the reward for those who didn't quit when things got boring on day 14. Week 4 to 6, the taste bud reset. By the time you hit the 6-week mark, your gut microbiome begins to shift. The bacteria in your gut that thrive on sugar start to die off, and the bacteria that thrive on fiber and healthy fats start to multiply. This is when the duty of eating well starts feeling like a chore. You'll find that a piece of fruit actually tastes sweet again, and the hyper-processed junk food you used to crave starts to taste a bit chemical and oily. You're no longer fighting your body is finally starting to work with you. The 2024 Lifestyle Consistency Study. A major study conducted in 2024 followed 2 groups of people. Group A did an extreme diet with a 1,000-calorie deficit. Group B did a moderate diet with a 300-calorie deficit, but focused on the daily duties I mentioned earlier: steps, protein, and sleep. At the 2-week mark, Group A had lost more weight. But by the 3-month mark, 90% of Group A had quit and regained the weight. Group B, however, had lost double the fat of Group A and reported that the lifestyle felt effortless. This proves that the reason diets fail after 2 weeks is usually because they are too aggressive. You're trying to sprint a marathon. If you feel like you're white-knuckling your way through every hour of the day, you will fail at day 14. Your duty is to find a pace you can maintain forever. The psychology of the 14-day mark is also about the expectation gap. We live in a world of instant gratification. We want the Amazon Prime version of weight loss, ordered on Monday, delivered by Wednesday. When the newness of the diet wears off and the reality of the work sets in, we feel a sense of loss. We miss our old habits. We miss the dopamine hit of a late-night snack. But here is the secret. That discomfort is actually the feeling of your brain rewiring itself. When you feel that intense urge to quit on day 14, you should actually celebrate. It means you've reached the growth zone. Everything before this was just cleaning out the pantry. Now you're actually changing your metabolic set point. You're teaching your body how to live in a smaller frame. Think about your daily routine like a bank account. Every time you choose the high-protein meal, you're making a deposit. Every time you hit your step goal, you're making a deposit. Every time you go to bed on time, you're making a deposit. By day 14, you don't have a huge balance yet, so you feel like it's not worth it. But if you keep depositing, by day 90, the interest starts to compound. That's when the magic happens. That's when people start asking you, "What are you doing? You look amazing." The truth is, there is no secret supplement or weird trick. The people who succeed are simply the ones who are willing to be bored in week 2. They were willing to do the duties when the excitement was gone. To make this practical for you, I want you to look at your calendar. Find the 14-day mark from whenever you start. Mark it in red. Label it the storm. When you get to that day, expect to be hungry, expect to be tired, expect to want to quit. When those feelings arrive, don't say, "I'm failing." Say, "The storm is here, just like I planned." Then lean into your duties. Eat your protein, take your walk, and go to bed early. Weight loss isn't about being perfect for 2 weeks, it's about being good enough for 2 years. The reason most diets fail is that people try to be 100% perfect. They hit the 2-week wall, they trip, and they never get back up. If you trip on day 14, who cares? Get up and do your duties on day 15. The scale doesn't care about a single meal, it cares about the average of your life. If you're watching this and you're currently in that 2-week itch, I want you to realize how close you are. You are standing right on the edge of actual physiological change. The water is gone and the fat is next. Your hormones are rebalancing. Your brain is trying to decide if you're serious or not. Show it that you are. Every walk you take is a signal to your DNA that you are an active, healthy human being. Every time you choose water over soda, you're telling your liver that its job is about to get a lot easier. Every time you hit that protein goal, you're giving your muscles the building blocks they need to stay strong while the fat melts away. Remember, about 84% of the fat you lose is actually exhaled through your lungs as carbon dioxide. You are literally breathing out your old self. Every breath you take during those daily walks is a tiny piece of your past leaving your body. It's a slow process, but it's a beautiful one. Don't let a bad afternoon on day 14 ruin a lifetime of health. The 2-week fail is only a failure if you stop. If you keep going, it's just a 2-week hurdle. You have the tools, you know the biology, and you have your daily duties. The first 14 days were for your ego, the quick weight, the compliments, the excitement. The next 14 days are for your future. This is where the real work happens. This is where the visceral fat starts to move. This is where your blood sugar stabilizes. This is where you actually become the person you've always wanted to be. Stay consistent, stay patient, and most importantly, stay in the game. The version of you that exists 3 months from now is begging you not to quit today. If any of this resonated with you, or if you've hit that 14-day wall before, drop a comment below and tell me your story. What was the thing that usually tripped you up? Was it the hunger, the social pressure, or just the boring nature of it? Let's talk about it in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, and share this with one person who needs to hear that their failure at 2 weeks isn't a lack of will. It's just biology waiting to be beaten. I'll see you in the next one.